Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and Authentic Vocal, and welcome to the first analysis video in collaboration with BBC Introducing in Sussex and Surrey. And if you don't know what this is all about, Authentic Vocal is very much just focusing on the human voice and singers singing naturally with no lip syncing or miming, no post-pitch corrected vocals, no auto-tune live, just listening to the human voice and enjoying it. BBC Introducing focuses on unsigned bands and artists, and in this particular case coming from the southeast of England, and it's going to be great that we can appreciate natural vocals, natural voices, but also that we can appreciate different genres, as well as what the younger generation are getting up to, the up and coming artists who are doing things without tuning vocals. And of course, I'll explain what's going on in performances as well, as I normally do with analysis videos. So we're going to be jumping into this performance of I Will See You Cry, and that stands for Keep Your Nose Out. And this is a duo, which is Harrison and Luana. And a big thank you to Dan Bridge for sending this my way. Dan does the sound at BBC Introducing in Sussex and Surrey. He's also a videographer, so he's pieced together the live performance video with some other video elements, and yeah, the audio is from the performance in the BBC Introducing studio, and we have two vocals and a drummer here. So we'll jump into this. I'll take it back to the beginning and we'll have a listen.
Brain, your reason small as rice grains, always serving me half a plate. Sometimes I feel the pain. Bit my tongue so hard it bled, so when you speak all I see is red. You're the demon inside my head, wishing that I was dead. I don't wanna run away, pros and cons I'm tired of weighing up. It's not hard to run away when you make me feel I'm not enough.
So I'm just going to jump in here because of course I have run the vocal through pitch monitoring software, so that we'll be able to take a look at that, which we will do, but taking it back to the beginning. So what we have here, again, it's great that BBC Introducing are totally on board, you know, with just saying what's going on and being honest about performances and just showing you a totally live vocal, which is just so refreshing to hear. But as we kind of take this from the beginning, we've got this really cool palm muted guitar that's going on, which, by the way, is going to be on a backing track. I think we've also got the lead vocalist's backing vocals maybe low in the mix on that backing track as well. There is a drummer in the studio, but we haven't seen the drummer yet. I think more than likely the drummer's going to be working with a click so that everything then syncs up with the backing track. But of course, we need to understand that we're looking at unsigned bands and artists here. They don't have the money to go spending on session musicians because that's a very expensive business. So yeah, we've got to expect some kind of backing track elements going on. But the great thing about this, when we're looking at this vocal when it comes in, we've got this really cool and accurate vocal that comes in with the E4, and then it's coming down to the B3, and we've got this really easy, smooth vibrato. And because this is a live, unedited vocal from a live performance in the studio, it means that we are going to get these regular resets that happen, like here between the A#3 and the B3, but also this kind of thing where we just absolutely bang on that B3. And we do actually kind of slide down to that, hit that right between the eyes.
Always serving me half a plate, sometimes I feel the pain.
And look at the way that we just lock in again to the B3. And then we've got this really cool vibrato that's going sharp.
Bit my tongue so hard it bled, So when you speak, all I see is red. You're the demon.
I mean, we've got some really cool vocal technique going on here. And it's great to be able to just listen to the natural human voice and listen to this kind of thing. The way that the vocal, it's got the freedom just to, flow.
You're the demon inside my head, wishing that I was dead. I don't wanna run away, pros and cons, I'm tired of weighing up. It's not hard to run away when you make me feel I'm not enough. Hey, I will see you cry. The old me has died.
So we can just hear there, low in that mix, that's what I was referring to. We have got those backing vocals just there on that backing track.
I will see you cry. Not just in my mind. All these nights I've cried. So I will see you cry.
And by the way, and let me just throw in here that with those backing vocals that are on the backing track, we've undoubtedly here got a lead vocal that is prominent, that is so up front that you can't really think, oh, is that main vocal on a backing track or not, because it's blending with other voices. And that is something that I am very strict with on Authentic Vocal, is having a prominent lead vocal, so that when you're watching a performance, the voice that you're hearing is the voice of that lead singer. Because when we start getting into the realms of backing tracks that have backing vocals on and a lead vocal mixed at the same level as the lead vocal that is live, and it starts to get lost in all of that, that's too far. It's got to be a prominent lead vocal. We absolutely have that here. So absolutely we can focus on this lead vocal.
I don't wanna talk about you anymore, no. I don't wanna talk about you. You were the one that started with me. You don't know what you've done.
I'm trying not to think too much, trying not to piss me off. Now I'ma cut you off, I'm not committed because of my living. I give you my vision, I still haven't risen. Can't be afraid to go, can't be afraid to leave. You got a long road more than to catch me. Won't be a coward, I won't give you power. Just need to be proud, so just let me breathe.
Breathe, breathe, breathe.
I don't wanna run away.
And there we go. We've seen this so many times with singers that are accurate. They've got this tendency to nail notes like this E4, and the same E4 is then slightly below. We get this reset because it's a natural voice. Then we're pretty much bang on here. Drift a little bit sharp that fourth time, but this is what happens.
I'm tired of weighing up.
Weighing up, yeah.
It's not hard to run away when you make me feel I'm not enough.
This is really cool as well, because now with this other lead vocal that's coming in, we've got this and that melody, again, this is all being sung fully live, and the singers here would absolutely have the option of using auto-tune live to get their vocals to conform to A440, but they've chosen not to do that, and they've both chosen just to sing naturally. And I think the performance is always all the better for that.
I'm not enough.
I don't wanna run away. I'm tired of weighing up.
Really cool there, harmonizing. And actually, let's have a look at this on screen, the way that we've got a really accurate voice there. Let me just see if we can pick up. Here we go. We can pick up the harmony and take a look at that. Really solid work here from the pitch perspective. Just pretty much bang on, maybe a little bit flat, and pretty much bang on, maybe a little bit sharp. So I mean, it's great because it means that when we're singing this line, they're both really, and this is what you get with natural voices, they're attacking this pitch from either side, so that you've got one vocal that comes in that's slightly sharp, one vocal that's slightly flat, so your ear will always pick out the average. And in this particular case, the average is going to be absolutely bang on. So, it does sound absolutely bang on as well. Have a listen.
I'm not enough.
I don't wanna run away. I'm tired of weighing up.
And we're both, you can see how similar or hear how similar that vibrato is. Na, 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 na. There's a tiny little wobble in there that they both do, and that's why it blends so well.
It's not hard to run away when you make me feel I'm not enough. Hey, hey, I will see you cry. The old me had. I will see you cry.
Hey, right, a lot going on there. So we actually got to see, this is the drummer in the studio. I did say that there's a drummer in there, but we don't really cut to him much during the performance. And then we get this jump of an octave. By the way, have a listen to this. Hey, absolutely bang on here with vibrato. That was just insane, and I'm not surprised at all that the pitch monitoring software is picking up the harmonic that's going to be an octave higher, because we're on the B4 here. I'm going to take it back to try and hear where this breath comes in. Oh, that was amazing, because the breath that she took was so, it wasn't dramatic, like and trying to really get all of the air, or as much air in as you can for that phrase. It was really subtle the way that she took that breath, but she's controlling this ridiculously. From a pitch standpoint, first of all, we have this kind of slide up semitone from the B4 to the C5. We can see actually when we're looking here, the variation that we get on the C5, where we're pretty much between notes here, and then we come up and we just touch that C5 perfectly, and a little bit flat here, and then perfect again, and then a little bit sharp. And this is actually a stylization. She actually starts a little bit sharp, comes down, and even with this variation in pitch, these semitones are absolutely sounding spot on. Just drifting between the two. And I love this where she's so in control of this note. Obviously it's going to be an octave below this is the harmonic, but she's so in control that she's able to put that vibrato in there, because she's not at the end of her breath yet, so it's just a little bit extra. That is so cool. But we'll listen up. Now, that wasn't a harmonic. Now she's actually up at the B5. And by the way, this B5, let me see, we go up to the... Are we up there at the E6? I think we are up there at the E6. So, yeah, we're not talking about harmonics anymore. That is plotting correctly. Just a crazy amount of range. I'm just going to listen to that again. And there we have it. So, yeah, that was really cool. Look at the accuracy in the pitch here. Absolutely spot on. And then what was interesting here, she just kind of navigated her way up a little bit to that D sharp 6, and that's where we started, then just ascending to the destination, which was the E6. That's where that note was intended to end up. And now, yeah, we get into this really cool head voice space. There's a little bit lighter.
I will see you cry, yeah.
And there we have it. What a cool, authentic vocal performance that was. But take a look down here, you know, what, G sharp 3 down at the bottom. So G sharp 3 down at the bottom of her range. But in this particular performance for this song and the melody of the song. So when we now take that up an octave, it means that we'd be at the G sharp 4. We take that up an octave, we'd be at the G sharp 5. We take that up an octave, we would be at the G sharp 6. So we don't get that high. We're going to be coming down a little bit from that, but hopefully it gives you an appreciation that the notes that we were hitting, where we did get up to the E6, that isn't even on this chart. You'd have to move this chart down to then see the E6 that would be, you know, way up here somewhere, because this is the E5. So we'd be another octave above this. So, you know, my arrow is going all the way up there, it disappears. It would have to go significantly higher by an octave to get to that E6. So just crazy range here, but also range with accuracy. This is why it's great working with unsigned bands and artists, because they just do what they do, and it is what it is. And in this particular case, it's just hugely impressive. And I do have to say that with these held notes, I mean, historically on the channel, when we've been looking at really accurate vocalists, they can sometimes hit the lines maybe 2 or 3 times in a row, but you'll always get the resets in there. We've already had the resets in this performance, but the held notes here are potentially the most accurate held notes in terms of the amount of pitch that's being covered that I've ever seen. Yeah, so that's going to be all one connected note with then a bit of vibrato. Let's see exactly what's going on here. Yeah, so this is the actual pitch. Look at how close we are there. And here, I mean, this is all the same note. So what I was saying was that she's covering so little pitch when she's now locked in. You know, we've got this little bit of vibrato here. It's a shame that it didn't plot this all on the same line, because then we would see this kind of thing where we do have a bit of a flow to the pitch, but the flow is so minimal. A little bit more here when we kind of really get into it. The fact that kind of we're below the line here, and then, you know, on top, a little bit above, and then here, and then back down below. But this, for pitch accuracy, like I said, this has got to be, and then, yeah, it's a shame that we lose that. It's got to be the most accurate, or the most solid held note I've ever seen from a natural vocal. Yeah, there's so much talent out there, and that's what BBC Introducing is all about, to just give that talent, you know, a spotlight, and for, yeah, people to be able to listen to it and appreciate it. And that's exactly what we're doing on Authentic Vocal as well. So there we have it. All relevant links will be in the description below if you guys want to take a deeper dive into BBC Introducing and other performances. But hopefully in the future we'll be featuring more on the Authentic Vocal channel and the Wings of Pegasus channel as well. It's always great to give unsigned bands and artists a little bit of a spotlight to show what they can do. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!